Hi guys, welcome back, episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about the equipment that you might need to get. Talk about the basics, the camera, the audio, the tripod and the lights. Pretty much if you can get those 4 elements, you've got a basic good starting position for making web video. Remember, you don't need to spend massive amounts of cash just because you've seen a Canon 5D Mark III or a D800 Nikon and you've seen the video footage on the web doesn't mean that you're going to be able to create that content straight away. You're going to have to get used to the camera, to learn how the quirks of it, how, you know, the ins and outs of how it works and how it doesn't function, how it does function. There's also an investment in terms of lenses, spending a serious amount on different kind of quality of lenses, a telephoto lens or a small little 50mm lens for taking small portrait photos. It all adds up. The important thing I'm trying to get across here is set yourself a budget and make sure that you get those 4 basics first before you get started. The wonderful thing about using, say, a DSLR for doing video is that you can do video and photos, and if you go down sort of the Nikon route or the DSLR or the Canon DSLR route, the lenses that you buy you can use on the equipment later on. I recently bought a Canon EOS 650D which has a little screen that sort of swivels around, which is perfect for video blogging. It's not a full frame Mark III camera. I can't afford that camera. Get to know your hardware, get to know that hardware level that you're at, understand those lenses. Remember that you'll be able to use those lenses on fuller frame cameras later on. Once you've got all the kit, once you realize that you've got all the bits to be able to record video, you'll start to realize that it's actually quite a hard process to get video out on the web regularly. There's lots of different areas that you need to cover. That you really need to sort of learn about is how to operate your sort of lights, your camera, your tripod. Those things take time to get used to. There always is little quirks with the camera and the tripod, but get to know your equipment. You'll find that there is tools and add-ons out there that make the whole process of making web video a lot easier. But again, do be careful of that budget. You can blow lots of money on equipment that you use once or you sort of buy because you think it'll be useful to get for the business. Have a realistic budget, have a realistic set of timescales for doing web video for your business. Once you've done your video, once you've captured your first video clip and it's got audio on there, the next thing you might want to do is take that into your computer to edit. Before you go out and spend maybe $500, $1,000 or more on equipment, make sure your computer can handle the video you're going to be working with. Chances are a lot of people are going to want to use high definition video because it's pretty much becoming the standard. Make sure your computer can handle it. I had a 6-year-old Mac Pro that was really suffering when I was doing high definition, to the point that it was unusable for doing editing. So if you're going to be doing everything, if you're going to do the shooting and you're going to sort of edit, make sure your computer can handle it. If you're going to be capturing a lot of high definition video, one of the things to remember is that that takes up a lot of space. Now you could use ideas from episode 1 of taking a USB 3 64 gig, 128 gig and archiving off certain projects onto those USB sticks. Actually, if you're working with clients and projects, that might be a really good way to go. Just add that to the bill, get a USB stick, copy their whole project, all the raw files onto a 64 gig, 128 gig, depending on the size of the project, and take that off your computer. HD files take up space. The more space they take up on the computer, the more chance your computer could be quite slow. Try and keep a real clean baseline machine when you're doing editing on high definition files. It's really hard to just drop in and start recording content. One of the episodes that I've got coming up is about how the process, the drafting, the editing, the releasing. I created this space so that I could drop down into the studio. I've got the lights all set up, got the camera set up, got the mic set up. I can literally draft out an idea, drop down here, hit record, and off we go. That might not be the situation for you because of the noise in the house. You might not realize that there's noises in the background. Trying to find a quiet, cool area where your equipment can be set up is hugely valuable to the creative process. If you have to spend an hour and a half more on setting up the equipment before you get started, it can actually take a lot of the passion out of it. If you've got a really good idea and you want to get in front of the camera and you can't, it can destroy your whole day. So try and create a space, an environment where your equipment is ready to go. Another thing that people do, and I've done this in the past, is you buy equipment thinking that you can just plug it in and go and you'll be a pro and you can do all the stuff that other people can do. That's not the case. You have to time served in this stuff. The more time you play with it, the more time you make stuff, work with others, the more you start to pick up things about how to make video better, how to do the process better. You might find that it's really overwhelming to deal with charging the equipment and taking the video and making sure that lights are set and making sure the audio is right, then doing the editing. It might work out better if you build a team. If you're a creative director and you have a vision of what the web video should look like, what the interviews should be looking like, what they should sound like. Build yourself a team of a sound engineer, a video editor, people who are going to do the sort of boom mic, do all the cameras. Go that route. You might find that there's other people in your local area that are sound engineers but don't have a video guy. Do a sort of search in your local area for people who want to collaborate on making content. The time that you have to make video is precious. The time for your viewer to watch your content is precious. Try and trim the fat. Get to the point, get to the details. Online video is an amazing way to talk to the world. I've met some incredible people because of putting web video out there, bumping into people at events and conferences saying that they've seen a video, or I saw that about the Wi-Fi pack, etc, etc. Do expect that when you put web video out there that you are going to get people talking back to you. Make sure that you have avenues that people can get in touch with you. You want to alert people to what you do, who you are, why you do it. You can expect a whole new audience that you've never ever seen before suddenly looking at your products, looking at your services. So be ready for that. Like any other process in a business, web video needs a plan. We're going to be talking about how to set up the process of the draft, the edit, and the distribution in a future episode. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching.